Hello, you're listening to No Kids, No Pain. I'm Romina Puma.
And I'm Luca Cupani, and this podcast is about the choice of being child-free.
Each week we will explore the topic of choosing not to have kids.
And we would love to hear from you too.
If you decide to be child-free,
don't feel guilty, this is the podcast for you.
And if you have kids,
here's what you're missing out. Yeah, and we have a new episode and a new topic because last episode we mentioned that there is unsolicited advice that sometimes people like women that don't want to have kids are given, and is, oh, why don't you freeze your eggs? You should freeze your eggs as soon as possible so that later on, once your career is established, you are maybe 50 something, you can still
and good luck to have a kid at 50.
Yeah, well, it's all another adventure. And again, nothing against those who go for this decision. But the thing that puzzles me is, if my wife and I, we say we don't want to have kids, it's our choice, and we are happy with that. For some reason, nobody believes it. They always think, oh yeah, you say
you
this,
might change your mind, and then it's too late. What are you gonna do? Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
Exactly, freeze your egg. But when someone tells me, oh, we are trying to have a kid, I never tell them, oh, but what if then you regret it? You cannot kill your kids. Are you aware of this? If he becomes an insufferable teenager, or what, there's no, you cannot kill at all. I just say, okay, well, good luck.
If he comes out as a psychopath, he might kill you.
Yeah, but this is still something I don't tell people. Oh, why don't you freeze instead your eggs and then look at your eggs?
Why don't you freeze your kid?
Why don't I have? I mean, I don't know. I know it's possible. I know that modern science and medicine allows you, but has anybody ever asked you to freeze your eggs?
No, probably because, I when I say something, people know that I really mean it.
And when
so there's no point on freezing eggs for me.
And when you go shopping in Easter time, you see all those chocolate eggs. You ever thought, oh, maybe I should really freeze mine?
No, I can't wait to get rid of all my eggs.
Yeah,
I'm nearly there.
But also, there's I know people that they had the IVF, they had pregnancies, everything is fine. Then now they have a baby, but then they think, oh, but they have another available egg. Should I freeze that one or keep it frozen? Again, I don't have an answer. I think it's very personal, very deep, but I still have to understand why somehow saying I don't want to have kids is not considered an acceptable, like you can't say period.
Yeah. So it's so embedded in the society that, if you don't have a kid, it's just something that, I can't even think about that. It's like it's a surreal thing that not having kids. That's why they want to make sure that you don't leave anything to chance. That maybe in a few years' time you change your mind, it's there.
Which is weird because imagine if someone tells me, oh, when do you have a baby? I say, well, no, we don't want to. Does it sound better if I say, well, we don't have a baby, but my wife just froze her eggs, so who knows, maybe in 10 years' time we will become grandparents of our children, might be 80 years old, and there will be a little toddler I don't know how to care of, but at least I made it. I mean, it's not...
Yeah, or maybe, they think, you need to have your carer, so you have a baby when you're old, and by the time he's a bit older, he can look after you, which is another silly way of thinking about it.
It is probably like about society, like another thing. For example, you don't see me, but I don't have hair. But luckily, I'm bald in an era when you can shave your head. There's no problem. Thanks to successful Hollywood movie, Bruce Willis and other actors, there's no problem. When I was a kid, I remember the comb over. I remember people without hair, they had to grow a side of the little hair they had, and then just pull over the whole head, but
Terrible.
everyone could see that this person has no hair, and so there's no point. And before that, probably people had to use a wig or something. It's similar to like nowadays, nobody tells me where is your wig, or have you noticed you don't have hair? How about you?
Well, have you never been told to do a transplant? What do they call it?
Oh,
Transplant.
you're right. They are, yes. To be fair.
And there is also spray.
No, the worst was that yes, I chose the bad example, but actually good example in a way, because it's one of those things where people feel entitled to not respect your choice. Like someone suggested me to do a tattoo, so they can tattoo.
Yeah.
Like if you just shaved your very thick and dark hair, but you keep it so short that it's like an ink on your, like a stain on your skull, which is what it is basically. And again, if I'm happy the way I am, whether I'm happy or I just came to accept that I'm like this, either way, probably the most polite answer should be none of your business.
Indeed.
But when it's about kids and hair, yeah, you're right. There's always this idea that I want this not so friendly heckler, we would call it in comedy, when I'm trying to help.
You're not helping.
Yeah, have you hatched your eggs yet? Oh no. How about you freeze them then?
Yeah.
It's
yeah. No, I've never been asked to freeze my eggs. I never heard of any of the people I know that ever froze their eggs. Really, is it expensive?
I think so. Well, I think that I think it has to do with IVF. So it's part of a procedure. If you cannot have, I believe the NHS covers some of the conditions. Maybe if you want, there's some condition where you can do IVF because it's the best way to avoid maybe disease in the kids. So they have to, you have to produce more eggs. But there's a lot of hormone therapy to create more eggs, and then they will do the IVF, and then they will store the extra eggs that you do not that you don't need, but you might need later on. But and for sure, if you pay, you can freeze your eggs. And this is some sort of advice that's been given, like, oh, you want to have a good career when you are 20, 24, go freeze your eggs because they're the best genetic material. Do your MBA career, get very stressed out, and then by the age of 35, 40, maybe you find a nice Bumble date, and then you unfreeze your eggs. But again, I think you need to have a lot of therapy and stuff, and then you're a 42 woman in career with
and you have a baby.
That made
and
with
then
the
it
eggs,
becomes a serial killer.
He might, but it might be. And then you have to
tell. It's such a you know. A question mark. That is one thing that always scared me of having a kid, because I like to be in control, so I'm a bit of a control freak, and I like to know how things are gonna go. Like, example, when I started dating my partner, I wanted to know, how long are we going to be together? Are we going to stay together forever?
Do you know?
I want a crystal ball. I want to know the future. So if I have a kid, I want to know, what is he going to become? Is he going to become, a good person or serial killer, or I don't know.
That sounds like the perfect profile of the mother of a serial killer. You grew up in a family where his mother would constantly check on the crystal ball to figure out if you were, but I feel I understand, because like when I listen to some true crime stories, like the story of a serial killer, I'm always worried if they still have parents alive. I say, those parents must be so embarrassing, like, because there's always a bit of competition when you have kids, and again, it's not polite and it's not maybe respectful, I would say, but every kid is loved. But if your kid happened to be a serial killer, then you probably lost the competition among other like if there's a family reunion, like, how's your kids doing?
Well, he killed about 10
GCSE,
people.
has a good job, or he's traveling, or he's talented. What about yours? Oh, I heard that yours, killed.
Yeah. Yeah, so we want to know from you, what do you think? Chip in as usual at our email address,
Yeah.
nokidsnopain@gmail.com.
Or contact us on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, No Kids No Pain, one word. And see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Ciao.